So today I've got on Stoomcast, I've got David Bull. David Bull is currently the head coach of Hellfish Cumbernauld Jiu Jitsu. David, as well, has been an active competitor. I mean, David's won obviously a number of competitions throughout Scotland and obviously further afield. And obviously, as I said, head coach of Hellfish, who again have some active competitors in there, and again I've had some good success as well. So David has been doing jiu-jitsu for a number of years. Currently, I believe a 4-tab purple belt under Yusuf Nabi.
Yep, that's correct.
So how are you today, David?
Yeah, fine, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So obviously yourself then, so as I said, you've been doing jiu-jitsu for a number of years now. So how did jiu-jitsu come about for you? So where did it all begin?
All began, my brother bought UFC 2 home on VHS video in 1995. And we'd been obviously fans of the early WWF days, and when watching what we thought at the time was real fighting, and then progressed onto watching Bushido on Sky TV in its early days. And I remember him bringing the video home and just being amazed by the guy who dominated the whole event. You know, we all know that guy to be Hoist Gracie now. I don't think at the time anyone was really aware of what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was, or Gracie Jiu-Jitsu as they called it then. I certainly didn't understand it. All I saw was the little guy beating all the big guys up, and I knew that I wanted to do it. The unfortunate thing was I didn't have access to the knowledge that we have now via social media, via the internet, so I wasn't aware that it was a derivative of judo. Otherwise I would probably been able to do it. At the time I was living in Glasgow, obviously still with my parents, but I don't think there was anywhere that did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think maybe the first one might have been like Rick Young's or Marcus's, or maybe even the Grip, but that wasn't until maybe 2000 something, so it was a long time before that. Yeah.
And then when you first started training, when was it you first started training? When did you get the chance to get on the mats?
Well, I probably trained first of all at the Grip House. I had trained at a local gym, just a weight training gym, about a year previous to that, and the only experience I had really of proper grappling was watching instructional videos off YouTube. I think that was my introduction to it. I'd done Aikido early in my life as well for a short time, but there were only a few things in that were really applicable. It was a lot of fancy moves for the TV, you know, Steven Seagal has unfortunately got the blame for that one. A lot of the stuff that he does work, but a lot of the stuff just doesn't work in the real world. But yeah, I think it was October 2008 was the first time that I graced the Grip House, and jumped right into the deep end. You know, I'd been obviously weight training for about a year previous to that as well. I'd gotten, you know, a fairly decent size, pretty strong for my size. Went in there thinking that I would do okay, and proceeded to get pretty much smashed off everyone, including a girl called Catherine Gallagher, I think she was still a white belt at the time, but she was certainly a lot smaller than me, and to get humbled that quickly from you know, a girl you never expected as a guy. I think we all have that inside us, you know, that egotistical side, to get submitted by a girl, especially someone that's smaller than you. So yeah, it was a big wake up call to me. But yeah, I mean, loved it from day one. I remember Paul McVeigh rolling with me, and I tried to do this sort of weird leg scissor on him. I think he got pissed off on that, and me being stupid and very egotistical. I thought I can get the head guy here, but nah, it was a bad mistake. Probably didn't go off on the right foot, but nah, I was eternally grateful for Paul's introduction to the sport. He was a super nice guy, and I still remain friends with him to this day.
No, I remember I was the same. My very first class, I walked in, I was about 125 kilos or something at the time. And I remember rolling with, it was a kid, it was like 13-year-old, and I remember them mounting me. So they got the full mount, and I couldn't get this kid off. This kid must have weighed, I don't know, maybe 40 kilos or whatever. So I was obviously 3 times the weight, and I could not move this kid. And I'm thinking, what kind of superpower is this kid has? And then obviously for me it just continued going on from there. So obviously I know what you're saying, obviously rolling with kind of smaller people and things like that. So
the funny thing is, Stuart, that you still get humbled like that from time to time. I think we all still have that little bit of ego inside us. I know it never truly goes away. It definitely diminishes over the years, but it doesn't go away completely. I was down at Elements in Brighton, seeing my head coach for a week. I think I was down there. I don't know who was it. It was one of the one of the check my head coaches was there doing a seminar. And there was this young kid over from Fight Zone, Mark O'Cana's place in London. And I'm sure he was about 12 or 13 at the time, and one of my friends, Majid Galani, who trains over in Checkmate Edinburgh, had rolled with him first and been completely smashed off this young kid, and we thought, what's going on here? So the next challenge was myself. I was next up for him, and Yusuf pointed at me and he said, Dave, just be on your toes. And he proceeded to tap me 3 times, and I'd already been given my purple belt by this time. I thought I was pretty decent. I could hold my own, and there's me still getting smashed by this 13-year-old kid. So it just shows you there's always someone better than you out there. It doesn't matter who they are, what age they are, what size they are. You're gonna get smashed off someone sometime down the line.
I mean, that's the good bit about jiu-jitsu is that happens. I mean, you can go and be a world champion or European champion or whatever, and you come back to your own gym and then you're getting tapped out by a lower belt or a younger person, male, female. It makes no difference at all. Everybody gets caught. Caught. So it definitely humbles us over the years, as you say. So and then obviously you mentioned the kind of Elements gym. Obviously your head coach is Yusuf Nabi. Again, we kind of had a chat with Madge about Yusuf. Yusuf being obviously an active competitor, so kind of leading by example for you guys.
Super nice guy. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better coach. His attention to detail, his friendliness. I remember the first time I went down there for a trip, he invited us back to his home for dinner with his family. You just don't get that sort of introduction to someone without him being a super nice person at the start. And we didn't pay him anything for the time. He was, come down as a guest. You couldn't have asked for a nicer guy. But very active on the circuit. Beats a lot of high level guys. I know he beat Gary Christie a number of months ago, which was a very, very good fight. I'm not taking anything away from Gary. I know Gary from being at the Grip House, and he's a phenomenal competitor, a really good jiu-jitsu guy. But for Yusuf to beat him, maybe 2 classes below him in weight, was a really big win for Yusuf. So I was super proud of him. So,
So how did the Yusuf thing come about? So when did you first kind of because obviously I know it would have been through Majid,
Yeah, well, I had already left the Grip House by this time. Something had happened there that it wasn't a bad thing. It was just I kind of felt like it was my time to move on. Super fantastic gym to train at. One of the best in the whole of the UK. I'm not going to ever take that away from them, and I'm eternally grateful for everything they did for me there. But I just didn't feel like I fitted in. So I moved on. It was my own choice, and it was the reason I eventually went to Yusuf's place. Majid had asked me to go to a seminar down there. I wasn't with anyone. I've been affiliated with anyone at the time. And he invited me down to a seminar with a guy called Dustin Dennis, a really high-level American grappler. I went down there, and obviously Yusuf talked to us and said, if you want to come on board with us, then you'd have to sort of prove yourself, prove you're a nice guy, and and I were really committed to the sport and promoting it, and that was something we did. I really admired the way he took us under his wing. I couldn't ask for a better guy. Super nice guy.
Definitely. I know. When did the Hellfish thing come about then? Because obviously I know Hellfish. I think they started off with was it Sammy Oaken, and then obviously
I was asked to do it as a favour almost. I can't remember. I think I got a phone call one night from either Sammy or Majid. I can't remember now. But they asked me to cover the class, and I did it for a few weeks, and then it kind of became a permanent thing. But I had a number of guys training there that I'd trained with back maybe about 2010 thereabouts.
Yeah.
It used to be a small club in Cumbernauld, just in the town centre itself. There's a guy originally started it called Bam Bam, Stephen Peebles, I think his name was. He used to train at the Grip House. And then I think he moved away, and one of my original sort of best sort of friends and good colleagues in Jiu-Jitsu, Anthony Thompson, his nickname's Cougar, took it over from, and I ended up training there for a while.
Yeah.
Just it was like once every Thursday, I think it was. But one of the stars that came out of that gym was Andy Burns. Obviously, eventually continued on to train at the Grip House and is now a black belt. But even from sort of day one, we could tell that Andy was going to be something special. He was just leaps and bounds beyond us all. You know? So no, it was nice to see some of the guys that come from that club then continue on with the Hellfish setup that we've got now. Good bunch of guys.
Yeah, no, it's I've not been through, but obviously I know a few of the guys I train with have been through, like obviously Marco Azzurri, obviously when Sammy had it and so on, and then I know William Lee came through for a little bit as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So William's away down south now. I mean,
he just left like a couple weeks ago.
So he's away down south. So obviously got a gym down there now. So obviously for you, in regards to the guys, I know some of your guys have done competitions. Some have obviously had some good success in them as well. So who have we got coming through for you guys? Because again, we spoke to Madge. Madge has obviously got a couple of guys who we know. Obviously Dave Bain, Jamie Harvey, and so on. So what about yourself? Any guys that we should be looking out for?
Well, I mean, the gym's really still in its infancy. We've only been open sort of just over the year period now. It's just as a solidified sort of gym in the area. But for me, I'm not, doubting any of the other guys that train there. I mean, we've got a lot of good guys. I mean, I respect every one of them. The guys that keep turning up there, it's the attitude that I desire in someone that is they just turn up and then they put a hard day's work in. That's what I want to see from them. I don't care if it takes them 10 years or 100 years to get a white belt, progressing to a blue belt. I just want them to put the effort in, and when they're ready, they'll get the promotion. Obviously, I don't do that myself, but I certainly give the nod to Yusuf, and then he'll see them maybe rolling under pressure from a higher ranking to see if they're worthy. But now the student for me who's really progressed the most is a guy called Lewis Cunningham. He started off just over a year ago now, hasn't trained anywhere else. And really, over the last years, has just dominated his division. He's won countless gold medals in pretty much every local competition that there was. And he got the nod from me, and Yusuf gave him his blue belt just at the turn of the year there. So, but he's just continued to progress even since he got promoted. We can obviously see sometimes that when you get promoted to blue belt, you kind of take your foot off the gas sometimes. You just relax into the belt, but it's just like he's gone from strength to strength, and he's a phenomenal athlete. Just great attitude, turns up at every class, never complains, just gets on with it and takes everything on board. The perfect student that you would want training at your gym. So,
How old is Lewis?
Oh, he's like early 20s, man. He's still in his prime. He's fresh. Unlike us oldies, man.
Yeah, listen, I don't like the boy already.
I certainly need to be on my toes. He keeps us all on our toes, but I need to really watch what I'm doing with him. Very sneaky.
Brilliant. So obviously look out for Lewis.
Very much so. Not going to tell you too many details, otherwise I'll give away all the information. So. Certainly be careful, guys. That's all I'm saying.
And then what about for you? Because obviously we know that you, obviously in the past, have done some competitions. Actually, we kind of mentioned, or we kind of touched on some of them there. So obviously Scottish Open, you did the Scottish Open, double gold there. Obviously Edinburgh Open gold there, GFT gold medalist. You've obviously done the 24/7s and took gold at them as well. And then obviously last year's British Open, getting a bronze at that, which is obviously a fantastic achievement as well. So I mean, any medal from a British Open is a fantastic medal, considering the amount of competitors that go through that in some of the divisions. So,
oh man, there's no easy roles, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you get some hard roles up this way, and there's a lot of good guys in Scotland these days, but it just steps up another level when you're at the British, and then obviously if you continue on to the Europeans and worlds, it just keeps going. It never gets easier. I mean, this has always been a hobby to me. I've not been able to put in the time that a lot of other guys can. Maybe guys that have been at college or university or something, or maybe fortunate to be still living at home with their parents. So, I think people do kind of get stuck on that sometimes. They look to everyone else and think, oh, why is he progressing faster than I am? But it's time on the mat. I think some people do have a natural ability, and obviously you have a better set of genetics. That some people are built better than others. Unfortunately, we're not all graced with massive muscles and rippling abs, but it's down to time on the mat. I really do think that's what it comes down to. And if you've got guys who can come in 3-4 times a week as opposed to the guy who can do it one day a week, they're going to be better. They're going to progress quicker than you are. So
And then what about you? Any future plans? Any future competitions coming up?
Get healthy again. I'm currently injured at the moment. I've got a torn meniscus in my right knee, so it's not doing me any favours. It seems to be getting better, but it's put me certainly off my peak at the moment. So it's going to be probably another good few months before I'm back to anywhere near what I was at 6 months ago. Competition-wise, I had hoped to go to the British this year. It's just not going to happen now, unfortunately. So now I'll concentrate on hopefully competing before the end of the year if it's all good. I'm not going to jump in at the deep end and maybe injure it again. So I'm not going to do that. The only thing that really that's important to me now is getting strong again and getting back to my prime. So
I mean, that seems to be a common thing. Certainly now the podcasts I've been doing. I mean, I spoke to Drew Sullivan on one of the podcasts, and he had a groin injury. One of the other girls, Rihanna, blew her ACL last year. So seems to be a common theme with jiu-jitsu guys. I mean, injuries. So obviously your meniscus, was that done whilst you were doing jiu-jitsu or outside?
Unfortunately, it was none other than Jamie Harvey, as you mentioned. We were at an open mat day over in Checkmat, Edinburgh at the turn of the year, and he had me in this sort of strange lockdown position, and as I sort of tried to push back and then cut through for an E-cut pass, he tried to sweep me in the opposite direction. There was just too much pressure on my knee, and at the time it obviously went pop and immediate pain, and I had to stop, but I didn't know what I'd done, and then went to get it checked out, and it looks like a meniscus tear. So so the unfortunate thing is we can get injured at our age, and things just seem to take a lot longer to heal. That's the downside of getting old. I think we've still got it up top, we just don't heal the same way anymore. That's a sad fact.
So how long are you going to be out for? Is there a time scale or just as and when?
I've been told to wait sort of 6 months and see how it is, and after that it'll probably be surgery after that. But I hopefully don't want to have to get anything done. I'd rather not get cut open, but if it has to happen, then it has to happen. I would certainly give up on the sport. I'm doing this for life now, as far as I'm concerned. Unless I cripple myself, I want to be continuing to do this. I love it.
And then, in regards to obviously your own personal life, so how do you juggle the two? Well, you mentioned
very difficultly. I do 12-hour shifts. I'm a truck mechanic by trade. So obviously having to be up at 5:30 in the morning and not getting home again till 8 o'clock, but still finding the time to train is difficult. But if you want to train, you'll make the time. It's something that irritates me when people say that they just don't have the time to do it. It's like, well, when do you wake up in the morning? I wake up at 7 o'clock. We'll get up at 6:30 and go for a run. The only excuse you make is just your own excuses. It's like, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. Why lie about these things?
And then obviously again, hobbies. I know that obviously from your Facebook, I know that you're into your cars. Obviously so again, how much time do you get to spend doing that?
Currently on hiatus with the cars. It became almost as a secondary hobby after the jiu-jitsu took over. It was my life, I'm not going to lie. I did some really stupid things in the cars, and things that won't get mentioned on this podcast. But it's either should be either in prison or dead, But I was lucky and survived those tales. So it was a good life. I loved it a lot. you know, I met a lot of good people through it in the same way that I've done with doing jiu-jitsu. So yeah, it was a good thing. I will go back to it. I think I'll go back to it later on in life. And you know, I hit my midlife crisis, and I've got a bit more money in the bank to blow on silly cars again. But the jiu-jitsu for me at the moment is the priority. I want to continue with it, and I hopefully want to make a career out of it. I hope to, you know, get my own place by next year, and then hopefully do it full time at some point.
Yeah. Because I think that me and you first met, and I'm trying to remember when it was. It was an open mat. I'm trying to think, was it at one of Ash's open mats maybe? You know, it was a while ago. It was a good few years ago. So, and again, I know every now and again we see each other at open mats or competitions or wherever we are. So it's always good catching up with you, David. So now, in regards to, again, you mentioned obviously you possibly maybe next year getting your own place. Will that still be under the Hellfish brand, or will you be kind of branching out into something else?
Yeah, I'll still be under the same banner. You know, I'll still be the Hellfish name, and I'll still be representing Checkmat, and you know, under the guidance of Yusuf. So yeah, it's definitely going to continue. Yeah,
and then obviously the Hellfish name, because obviously when I was looking at the Hellfish name, obviously the only thing I can find, and I saw the logo was is Abe Simpson.
Well, it was a World War II outfit, so...
Yeah. So the kind of name came from that then, yeah?
Sorry, I lost you there.
No, I'm saying the Hellfish name, is that's where it came from then? What was your...
Yeah, well, I don't actually know the origins of it. I know we use the same motif. It wasn't my idea, but I just went with it. I thought it was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, no, it's a cool logo. It's a cool name.
Yeah, well, I like some past 9 was studying World War II history as well, so it kind of, the two of them went together and I let it go. So I'm happy to stick with the Hellfish name. I don't want people to think we're jumping from name to name. That's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. So and then obviously outside the gym, again, you mentioned obviously that you do the cars, and or you were doing the cars and so on. So what other things do you like to do when you're not doing jiu-jitsu, not working and things like that?
Spend time with my girlfriend mostly. She's been in Morocco the last year. Had some troubles with employment and whatnot, but she's been there for me for the last year, and really found myself again. You know, just trying to settle into a good relationship with someone. It's been good. So doing that, but other than that, just meeting friends, socialising with a number of the guys from the gym. Family's really important to me, things like that. I struggle to do anything else other than train and work. Unfortunately, it takes up a lot of my time. So, work is life at the moment, unfortunately. So. But you got to pay the bills somehow. So
definitely. And does your partner does she do jiu-jitsu at all?
No. She doesn't do jiu-jitsu. I think the desire's there to do it. She came to see me at the last SGI. Excuse me. The last SGI event that I competed at, and unfortunately I lost that. But it wasn't a good thing to show her me losing. But I think she was still proud that I competed. I worked my ass off for that fight. Jack just got a decision on the day. He got the Kimura. Really good competitor. Super nice guy as well. He offered to get a friendly role up at the grip house sometime, so I made him take him up on that offer. That was a really good fight. I learned a lot from that. I learned pretty much at this level you can't make any mistakes. He got me with a takedown pretty much from the get-go, and I spent a lot of time and energy trying to get back to a more neutral position. He capitalised on my mistake. He capitalised on him taking advantage of that, and he won the fight. You know, he was the better man on the day. Hats off to him. You know, he got my applause for that.
I mean, Jack's good. I mean, I trained with Jack back in.
I mean, I've heard good things about him. I've seen some of his videos in the past, and obviously seen him competing and stuff. I know he came from GB as well, so he's very, very good guy, very good competitor.
I mean, his since moving to the grip house, his game's kind of shot up so much. Obviously, he was good at GB. He's better where he is now. You're going to get that in the grip house, though, Stuart. I mean, the guys that got there, I mean, the
the tuition that you get and the instruction you get from Gary and Paul and, you know, Alan Love and you know, Andy Burns as well, Dean Riley's there, all high level guys, Mark Connor, another one, you know, really super good guys, you know, good guys in grappling and the understanding of the grappling. You're going to get good when you've got that kind of instruction. So, good place to train in Glasgow, definitely Grip House gets my vote. So.
Yeah. And then obviously for your gym, what kind of classes are you offering the guys? I mean, is it a kind of mixed class, a mixed bunch, or?
I'd say the gym's in its infancy still. We've taken on a number of new students in the last sort of year. You know, just going through the basics. It's kind of where I you know, concentrate on or doing solid basics. Unfortunately, I think you do see it from time to time, even high level guys, not the gym high level, I just mean guys who are at higher ranking, you know, they start to do silly things. It's almost like things do become sloppy to a certain extent, and I don't like to do anything super fancy. There's no, you know, barambolos or one guard or anything like that. I just stick with the solid basics, you know, the stuff that works and works on competitors. Works on opponents that of all sizes. You know, you don't have to do a specific technique on this person because they're this shape or this size. I just want stuff that works right across the board. And it does pay off. I think if you get the basics down, then everything else falls into place. It was certainly something that I missed out on. I think because I was only training sort of once a week when I first started. Tried to do fancy stuff and missed out on a lot of the basics. So I think that's why it took me so long to progress. There was no fault of the guys at the Grip. It was just because I wasn't, you know, turning up to every class because of the shifts that I did at the time. I wasn't able to commit to it.
And then obviously you said you started around about 2008, so you've seen a lot of change. Jiu-Jitsu over the years. You're talking about 11 years. Got old. Feel like one of the old guys in the sport. So obviously the changes in Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, from back in the day to now. I mean, what do you think Jiu-Jitsu, or how good Jiu-Jitsu is at the moment?
I seem to be going through a spate of doing leg locks. It seems to become almost fashionable to do leg locks these days. I just hope that people don't, you know, forget about how to pass guard, open the guard and then passing it. You know, they just want to fall back for leg locks. Like, you know, the Berimbolo was a bit of a fad for a while. I think it will, you know, progress to something else. Evolution of the sport, it's always going to change. You know, you're going to get different techniques coming through, become popular, and then they'll be cast aside and it'll be something else that'll come on. It's just the natural progression, I think. I don't think anything's changed, you know, spectacularly, but no, I mean, you've got, you know, some guys coming through, Gordon Ryan, who's really impressive at the moment, just a different sort of breed of competitor. But no, the things are still the same as they always were. If you grab someone by the neck, they'll choke them, and if you grab a limb, you'll rip it out. It's the same idea. That's not going to change. You know?
I mean, you mentioned
I think it's marketed better now. I think when I was starting out, you didn't have the accessibility that you do now. Certainly, I know you can go into YouTube and watch instructionals from really good high level guys. You know, Ryan Hall, Marcelo Garcia, Hodger Gracie, guys like that. You know, that have really stapled themselves as the top guys of their day, you know, and if you can do that, I'm not saying it's the be all end all for training. I still think you have to do it on the mat. You can't miss that. You can never miss that out, but it certainly does assist in your game. And you can try out new things, which is something that we didn't really have access to 10 years ago, not to the same extent anyway.
And then obviously again, there's a few early videos of you on YouTube. So where we kind of looked through them. I know there was one where you mentioned the footwalks and things like that. I think you got, was it a footwalk and a killie walk on one of your opponents, and
I think it was Ralph Pressgrave I did with an Achilles lock in maybe about
2014.
2014 was it? God, I'm getting old now. It's like yesterday. It was like bloody 20, 50 years ago. Yeah, Ralph's a really good guy. He's got his own place down south now, and I've actually been down there to train with work as well. So I managed to pop in and see him, and he was welcoming. Yeah, but I do remember the fight. I think we got some weird double guard pull at the start, and I got back to my feet. He left his leg hanging, and then I caught him with an Achilles lock. I wouldn't say footlocks are my staple part of my game, but it's certainly something that I used to do in my early days. Watching too many sort of bastard instructional videos and Sambo stuff was to blame for that, unfortunately. I don't know. It was seen as dirty back in the day. I think they were forbidden techniques. But now they've become very popular, and they seem to be a bit more lax on it. So.
I mean, a lot of people are concentrating more on it. I mean, the John Danaher stuff. Obviously, when he brought out that video, that instructional video, everybody seems to be jumping on that. I know that we're doing it in our gym, BJJ. We're doing a lot of John Danaher stuff. The guys down in Kilmarnock and all that. So, and that was kind of, you seen that at the SGI. Everybody was going for a footlock or a heel hook or knee bars, and so as you said, it seems to be the norm. Now, it was frowned upon back in the day, but definitely normal now. So, but that's the thing I noticed with the videos that you've got on. I mean, a lot of the videos, a lot of the fights were finished quickly. You managed to get them over and done with in less than a minute.
It's because I gas out too quickly, mate. I need to get it done there and then. It's a sign of getting old, unfortunately.
And then I watched one where it was you versus, it was your teammate at the time, Robert Johnston. When you went off the mat. You were off the mat and you were rolling about, and I think it was a plastic bottle you were lying on top of. Still trying to take the arm, and you managed to get the win. So, but they all kind of went very, very quickly, the videos that you can see on there. So, and again, I've rolled with you a few times before, and always a solid roll, always a really, really good roll whenever I roll with you. So you're always going for the finish. You always want the finish. You're not a points player, which again is good to see in jiu-jitsu. So even
don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say that I'm not a points player. I still like to go for the finish, obviously, if it presents itself, or I force it. But I'll still, continue with the point system if I feel it's going to be beneficial. It depends on the person you're against. If you're going to be against someone who's really, really technical, there's no way you're just going to be able to throw something on. They're going to be too wise to that, and you have to break the fight down. It's something that I've really changed in my game. I used to be, jump in there and, into the deep end and try and catch something. I competed at the Brighton Open last year, and unfortunately lost in the first round. And it was because of that. I'd done a technique that I'd done a million times in class, and thought I'll be able to throw this on, and the guy was able to pass my guard, took my back, and that was game over for me, and it really opened my eyes up. It's like, if you don't have the position solidified and the person's shut down, that submission's not going to happen. You're not going to get it at a higher level. And I've certainly noticed the difference transferring from the blue belt to the purple belt. It's another level, and I'm sure that'll continue all the way up. There's never going to be an easy roll now, unfortunately. But I like that, though. I don't like to get handed something on a plate. I like to work for something. It's something that I've always done through my life. A strict upbringing has something to do with that. You have to work for something. Never handed it.
And then the guys in your gym, obviously, because again, like any other gym that I go to or speak to, the lower belts always want to tap the higher belts. So is that the same in your gym? Obviously, they see the purple belt and they think, well, we're going to get him.
No, I mean, I think. I don't think that'll ever go away. It's always good to get a submission on a higher ranking. I think that kind of does boost your ego somewhat. And as much as we hate to admit it, we all like a little boost now and again. But no, tapping a higher rank is nice to get, but it's not the be all end all. I certainly don't care about my ranking anymore. I just enjoy just rolling. It's great. I get a lot of feedback from seeing my students progress. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that, and I think that's why I've decided to commit to it. I don't even see it as hard work now. I just see it as fun. It's great. I love it.
Brilliant. And then in regards to anybody that's coming by Cumbernauld, so how can they get in contact with you guys?
We have a Facebook page, page on Instagram as well. If you either type in, Hellfish BJJ or Cumbernauld BJJ, you'll sure find the sites, or the pages. Sorry. And we're situated in the Westfield Industrial Estate in Cumbernauld.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same end as the container base. So.
And then what days are you guys on? What class times?
We have 3 classes: Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Tuesday is 7 to 9 in the evening. Friday is 8-10, and Sunday 7-9 as well. Sunday being the no-gi night.
Right. So obviously no-gi on a Sunday. That's fine. And then obviously last thing then for you, David. Again, I asked everybody this, so I kind of put people on their toes here. So if you weren't doing jiu-jitsu, I know sometimes we sit there and think, well, I can't imagine life without jiu-jitsu. But if you weren't doing it, what would you be doing?
I'd probably continue with the racing with the cars, to be honest. That was my passion. It always will be a passion of mine. I'm not going to ever go away from it. You still see me posting videos and stuff.
I do, yeah. They're always good to watch. But I think the one video I seen was the Nissan Micra you had.
Yeah, very, very famous car up this neck. Certainly in the sort of background of motorsports up this way. It was a very special car. It was always the plan was to put as big a possible engine in the smallest possible car, and what better one to do than a silly old granny car like a Nissan Micra. But I had some fun in that. It cost me a fortune, and it cost me almost cost me my life as well. I had a pretty serious accident in the car. But I still look back at it and think what a time I had. It was an absolute ball. I don't care if it cost me a fortune and nearly killed me. I still had a lot of good fun. So.
So maybe one day we'll see you zooming about.
Oh no, definitely. You'll see me. I mean, hopefully advertising the gym on the side of the car at the time, but won't be able to drive so fast. Then you'll never see the advert, so that's not going to work.
Brilliant. Well, listen, David, thanks very much for obviously sharing.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Sharing some of your kind of journey with us. Do you know what I mean? So obviously we'll definitely see each other again on the mats. I mean, we'll see each other from time to time at competitions and things like that as well. So, guys, anybody that's in the Cumbernauld area. I mean, Cumbernauld, it's the road from Glasgow to Stirling, Dundee. So even if you're driving past and you want to go in and train, if you've got a gi or no gi stuff in the car, then definitely hit Hellfish Jiu Jitsu on Facebook.
Yeah, always open door. There's no problems of affiliations. If you want to try the sport out, come in. No problems at all. Just jump in. It's not an issue.
Perfect. All right, David, listen, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
And you enjoy the rest of your evening, okay?
I'll try to, mate. Thanks so much. Buddy. Take it easy.
So, guys, that was David Bull. David Bull is the head coach of Cumbernauld Jiu Jitsu, or Hellfish Jiu Jitsu. Purple belt under Yusuf Nabi, and as I said, active competitor. David, fantastic guy. As I said, I've been fortunate to share the mats with him a few times, obviously open mats and so on, and always a great role with David. So always enjoy having a chat with David just about jiu-jitsu and obviously other things as well. So definitely keep an eye out for Hellfish Jiu Jitsu. These guys are coming through. Obviously Lewis Cunningham, who he mentioned. So again, anytime you see him, keep an eye on him at competitions. So again, thank you very much, David, for obviously taking the time to speak to us. The next episode, we're going to mix it up a bit. We just had a bit of scheduling problems, just trying to get a few people. So the next episode that we're going to have is going to be with Damien Dawson. Damien Dawson's a purple belt now, sorry, I was about to say a blue belt. No, he's purple belt now under Marcus Nardini, fights out of Lycan's gym in Kilmarnock, which is under the MMBJJ brand. So we're going to get a chat with Damien. Damien's very, very technical. Damien's one of these guys, he's a shorter guy, bigger guy, stockier, so what he does is he likes to take things that he's been shown, so techniques, submissions, and then just adapt it to his style and so on. So definitely very, very technical. Makes up a lot of stuff in regards to the moves and so on. So it's going to be good to hear, obviously, a little bit about Damien. He's also trained as not just trains out of Cumbernauld, but Damien every year gets the chance to go over to Italy. I think for a week or 2 weeks, gets training over there. Supposed to be on holiday, but yeah, packs his gi wherever he goes. So it's going to be good to hear from Damien. So listen, guys, thanks for listening to this one, and we'll see you on the next one.